our story for today comes from North Africa, where Morocco has struck gold. Literally. A major gold discovery could transform the country's mining sector and its position in the African and global market. Now, geologists have discovered high-grade gold deposits in Morocco's Julemin region, with grades reaching up to 30 grams per ton, which is considered world-class. Now, mining professionals have identified 34 quartz veins, each showing signs of rich gold content. Preliminary estimates suggest the region could yield between 3 and 5 million ounces of gold, and this can vastly outstrip Morocco's current annual output of just over 100 kilograms. The discovery emerged from systematic exploration combining geological mapping, targeted trenching, and shaft sampling to access fresh materials beneath the weathered surface zones. Morocco is already rich in natural resources, including phosphates, silver, copper, lead, zinc, and manganese. Gold has so far played a minor role. Despite having relatively low gold production, Morocco still manages to export a decent amount of the shiny metal. Now, in 2023, Morocco exported $27.7 million worth of gold, ranking 120th globally and making it a relatively small player in the global market. This new discovery could revamp that, opening doors for significant export growth and investment in the sector. Currently, Africa's top gold producers include Ghana, South Africa, Mali, and Sudan, all countries with well-established mining infrastructure. They produce gold in the range of several 100,000 to millions of ounces per year. By contrast, Morocco's gold production is modest, just over 100 kilograms annually, making it a relatively small player on the continent.
Morocco's latest mineral discovery has sent a quiet but unmistakable tremor through global markets, not because of exaggerated figures or speculative hype, but because of what it represents in a rapidly shifting geopolitical landscape. Deep beneath Morocco's southern terrain, geologists have confirmed the presence of high-grade, gold-bearing formations with long-term commercial potential. The discovery is significant not only for its quality and location, but for its timing. At a moment when global supply chains are under strain, strategic resources are being reclassified as national security assets, and competition among major powers is intensifying, Morocco has found itself holding a new and influential card. Within days of the announcement, attention turned to Washington, where policy planners and economic strategists began assessing what this discovery could mean for the United States' long-term access to critical resources, its position in Africa, and its broader geopolitical strategy. This discovery is not being framed as a sudden windfall or an overnight transformation. Officials and analysts have emphasized that the reserves appear to be high-grade and geologically promising, but will require years of careful exploration, infrastructure development, and regulatory oversight before reaching full production. What sets the find apart is its strategic location and consistency. The gold-bearing zones are situated in areas with existing transport links, political stability, and proximity to Atlantic trade routes. In a world where many mineral-rich regions are hampered by conflict, weak governance, or logistical barriers, Morocco offers something increasingly rare: predictability. That predictability is precisely what has drawn the attention of policymakers in Washington. Gold remains a unique asset in the global system. It is not only a commodity, but a store of value, a hedge against inflation, and a stabilizing reserve for central banks. In recent years, gold has also taken on renewed strategic importance as nations seek to reduce exposure to volatile currencies, sanctions risks, and financial shocks. The Moroccan discovery arrives at a time when global gold demand is being reshaped by geopolitical uncertainty, rising defense expenditures, and the rebalancing of reserve portfolios across emerging and advanced economies. While the discovery does not instantly alter global supply, it adds a new, credible source in a region of growing strategic relevance. For the United States, interest in Morocco's gold discovery extends beyond the metal itself. Washington's focus is increasingly centered on supply chain resilience and diversification. Over the past decade, reliance on a narrow group of supplier nations for strategic resources has been exposed as a vulnerability. Disruptions caused by trade disputes, sanctions, pandemics, and regional conflicts have forced policymakers to rethink how critical materials are sourced and secured. Gold, while abundant globally, is still subject to geopolitical concentration, and access to stable, allied producers has become a strategic priority. Morocco occupies a distinctive position in this calculus. It has long maintained strong diplomatic, economic, and security ties with the United States, while also preserving pragmatic relationships with Europe, the Gulf states, and Asian powers. This diplomatic balance has allowed Rabat to act as a bridge between regions, rather than a proxy for any single bloc. The gold discovery enhances that role. For Washington, engagement with Morocco offers an opportunity to strengthen a partnership with a politically stable, economically ambitious country at the crossroads of Africa, Europe, and the Atlantic world. Competition, however, is an unavoidable part of the story. Other global powers are actively expanding their footprint across Africa's mining sector, investing in exploration, infrastructure, and long-term offtake agreements. These investments are often framed as development partnerships, but they also serve strategic objectives, securing access to resources that underpin industrial production, financial stability, and technological growth. Washington's interest in Morocco should be understood in this context. It reflects not a sudden scramble, but a broader effort to ensure that critical supply chains are not dominated by rival powers with differing political and economic priorities. Global markets reacted swiftly, though cautiously, to the news. Gold prices did not surge dramatically, a sign that investors recognized the long-term nature of the project rather than expecting immediate supply shocks. Instead, the reaction was more subtle. Mining equities with exposure to North Africa saw increased attention, while analysts began reassessing the region's role in future precious metal supply. Morocco's standing among resource investors strengthened, with renewed interest in its regulatory framework, geological potential, and investment climate. The discovery reinforced the perception that Africa's mineral wealth is not limited to traditional hotspots, but extends into politically stable jurisdictions capable of managing large-scale projects responsibly. For Morocco, the implications extend far beyond export revenues. Gold development has the potential to catalyze broader economic gains, from infrastructure investment and job creation to technological transfer and skills development. Moroccan authorities have signaled that any expansion of the mining sector will be guided by long-term planning, environmental safeguards, and national development priorities. This measured approach has been welcomed by international partners, who see stability and transparency as essential for sustained engagement. Strategically, the discovery enhances Morocco's leverage in its relationships with major powers. It provides Rabat with additional negotiating strength, allowing it to attract investment on its own terms and to balance partnerships without overdependence on any single external actor. For the United States, this creates both an opportunity and a test. Effective engagement will require respect for Morocco's sovereignty, alignment with its development goals, and a willingness to compete economically rather than rely solely on diplomatic influence. Washington's interest is therefore best understood as strategic positioning rather than aggressive pursuit. United States officials are evaluating how cooperation in mining, finance, and technology could support mutual interests while reinforcing broader goals such as regional stability and economic integration. Gold may be the headline, but the underlying issue is trust and alignment in a world where access to resources increasingly defines geopolitical influence. The broader African context cannot be ignored. Morocco's discovery contributes to a growing reassessment of Africa's role in the global resource economy. For decades, the continent has been viewed primarily as a source of raw materials, often extracted under unfavorable terms and with limited local benefit. Recent trends suggest a shift. African governments are asserting greater control over their resources, demanding value addition, and leveraging competition among external partners to secure better outcomes. Morocco's approach, emphasizing regulation, partnership, and long-term planning, may serve as a model for others. As global demand for strategic resources grows, Africa's importance will continue to rise. Gold, while traditional, remains central to this equation, especially as financial systems adapt to new risks and uncertainties. Morocco's emergence as a significant gold player reinforces the continent's relevance not just as a supplier, but as a strategic actor capable of shaping global markets and alliances. In the end, Morocco's billion-dollar gold discovery is less about immediate wealth and more about long-term positioning. It highlights how geology, geography, and geopolitics intersect in shaping the future of global power. For Washington, it represents an opportunity to deepen ties with a stable partner and to advance a strategy focused on resilience and cooperation. For Morocco, it offers a chance to strengthen its economy, enhance its diplomatic influence, and redefine its role on the global stage. And for Africa as a whole, it underscores a growing reality. The continent's resources are no longer just extracted and exported, but increasingly central to the strategic calculations that will define the coming decades.